Hey y'all, hi. It is time for another episode of New Makeup Hot Takes, and I'm unexpectedly excited about filming it. I've been like, gotta film New Makeup Hot Takes before the end of the year. I've got to address the holiday releases. It has just felt kind of distant from me. I haven't been checking in. I haven't really known what's going on in makeup. As soon as I started pulling up the information, like the pictures of the holiday releases, finding out what's new, I was like, I actually have a lot to say. I have opinions. I have emotions. I have takes. They're hot. You all know what this is, right? I'm just reacting to the new launches in the beauty market. And it's particularly brain scrambling at this time of year, you know, because all of the brands are going hard. They're taking big swings, some of them. And I just can't wait to dig in. A quick reminder here at the beginning, if you are a poet, if you have a manuscript of poetry and you've been wanting to publish it, please submit it to the Anthony Hecht Poetry Prize at Waywiser Books. That's the prize that my book was selected for a couple of years ago, and I'm so grateful that I submitted that year. I know there are probably just a few of you out there, but if you're one of them, the deadline is December 15th, so very soon. I'll put that link down below. And now let's get into the meat of the video. New makeup, hot takes. New makeup, hot takes. This episode of New Makeup Hot Takes does have a sponsor, but I really want to talk about these two eyeshadow palettes right out the gate, and then I will tell you about the sponsor. I'm going to talk about all eyeshadow first, okay? And the eyeshadow started leaping out at me. Haze, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, and I should also say, it has been a long time since I filmed one of these, so I just went through all of the makeup that has released since I last filmed one, like a New Makeup Hot Takes, and I'm just talking about what really caught my eye and stood out to me. So a lot is being omitted here. Okay, we're just kind of finding out what I gravitate to under these extreme and extenuating circumstances. Haze, I saw this eyeshadow palette from ABH and I was like, Viseart? Is that you? That was my first reaction. Viseart, is that you? Second reaction, I was like, I actually respect. I was like, actually kind of like this for a couple of reasons. One, it's kind of giving holiday without giving holiday. It's balanced, okay? It's balanced. It's beautiful. It's a little bit different because the deep shade, the deep matte is a dark blue instead of a black or a dark brown. If that deep blue was a dark brown, this palette would be catching nobody's eye. This would have no attention. So that's interesting, right? It's interesting to see that. But also that grayish one in the top right-hand corner looks a little bit like a lavender. It's just exquisite. It's exquisite. It's beautiful. And it's got a duochrome, one of those. It's just like Urban Decay Lounge is the comp for this reddish blue duochrome forever and ever. You know what I mean? It's always going to be that. But I don't know, if I was on my eyeshadow buying horse, I would totally buy this. I just think it's beautiful. However, I'm not on my eyeshadow buying horse. This is something, it would be so easy to dupe the vibes of this using the palettes you already own, using the single eyeshadows you already own. It would be so easy. It's not complicated. It's not revolutionary. You know what I mean? It's not groundbreaking. It's just so well balanced, well executed, so attractive. And I surprised myself feeling that way when I saw this launch. And it's one of the things that got me really excited about talking about new makeup releases. I usually don't feel this way about ABH. And this is an unusual shape for them. I just feel like they have like a new hire. Somebody took the reins and was like, let me just do one thing and we'll show you how good it can be and that it can still kind of work with the brand image. I think it's beautiful. Also, and for very similar reasons and in a very similar vein, I was stunned, knocked onto my bottom by the images of this Givenchy palette for a similar reason. This is giving holiday in that subtle, glamorous flash photography at night way that I really like. Of all of the ways in which you can serve the holiday makeup aesthetic, this is the one that I like the most. Grainy, high contrast, lots of shine, gold shimmer, silver shimmer, champagne shimmer, taupe shimmer, sort of like a grungy, shimmery, lo-fi makeup vibe. And it's cool to see it from Givenchy. Again, if I was on my makeup buying horse, I would like gallop over to the Givenchy store and pluck this one too. But that horse, I don't know her. I mean, maybe I do. We find out later in this video that maybe I do know her under certain circumstances. I love to be able to appreciate that these two eyeshadow palettes have been executed in a way that feels aligned with what I'm drawn to, and just be glad that we're kind of all on the same page without me needing to go out and buy them. Because again, in both both of these cases, I can do what I would do with these palettes with the makeup I already have. The aesthetic of it and how gratifying the aesthetic of it, that's not something that I need to own. So I can just say beautiful, inspiring, and goodbye. So there's more eyeshadow to talk about. The next one just popped up. It's Nars. Jail. That's how I feel. Jail for 1,000 years for Nars. But first, I have to tell you that this episode of New Makeup Hot Takes is sponsored by Quince, which I absolutely love. Quince is one of my favorite sponsors, largely because I have been, of my own accord, a Quince customer for years and since long before I ever worked with them professionally. So for example, this cardigan that I'm wearing, it's the Cotton Fisherman cardigan. I've washed and worn it now for 3 winters, and it's in beautiful condition. When I talk about the attention to design detail at Quince, the fact that their use of sturdy natural fibers bears fruit, like the fruit of longevity in their products, I am speaking from happy experience. And Quince has a factory direct model. That's how the company works. That's what reduces their margins and their overhead costs and keeps the prices low, which I've especially appreciated this year when it comes to homewares. The Japanese Damascus steel knives, the towels, the rugs. You remember our dining room rug? We've had it for a few months now and it's still perfect. Low profile, so it's easy to clean, but it's still soft and lush feeling. It's visually light in our moody space, which is really important to me, but it's variegated so it doesn't show stains. I've recently added a couple more Quince pieces to our living space in anticipation of family visits during the holidays, just trying to make it cozier and more layered overall, but without being too busy. This hand-woven wool runner, which has made a huge difference to the space in front of our couch. It's like a simple thing to add a runner to a space. It can be pretty transformative. I love these cotton velvet throw pillow covers too. Again, appreciating Quince here for using 100% cotton velvet instead of polyester, which is what you often see. I was so excited when I saw that that's what they had done. Cotton velvet is such a special fabric and so good for that layered cozy effect. And of course, this alpaca boucle throw layered over the quilt on the couch that we already had, which is something I bought myself actually. And this marble bowl, something I also bought myself because we needed something in the entryway to catch the keys. I myself am often shopping at Quince, even when I'm not making a video with them. So the shipping cutoff for Quince, if you need something for your house before the holidays, I think it's December 17th, but it might change. It will definitely be posted on the website when you click through. Just be aware there is a shipping cutoff and it is approaching. Quince is also a great place to find gifts, which I discussed recently in my gift guide. I featured the lab-grown diamond oval studs. A full set of linen bedding makes a great gift. I actually think that this same coverlet makes a great gift. And of course, the sweaters. I will link all of my Quince favorites in the description box below for your reference. And thank you so much to Quince for sponsoring New Makeup Hot Takes. Okay, Nars. Jail for you, Nars. After all these years, after all this time, after they presumably have heard so many of us say, we love your formulas. You're doing everything right formulaically. The aesthetic of the brand is getting us where we live. And in the past, we have loved so many of your unusual colors. And after they heard I myself say, well, I don't know if they heard. Nars is probably not watching. But oh my gosh, I love that lipstick. What's it called? Bewitched. The Nars explicit lipstick in Bewitched is one of my top products of the year and of last year. It's just amazing. So sometimes they're doing it beautifully and sometimes they're just doing the same thing again that they've been doing since the beginning of time. I mean, I guess this colorful, cosmic light reflecting colorful highlight is unusual for Nars. It's different. It's just in a weird direction, like not the direction that I would have wanted them to go. I guess some of it's kind of different. When you look at this image of the entire collection, it's the cheek palettes that stand out and they look so already been done to me. They look so past Nars to me. That is what made me roll my eyes and say jail for 1,000 years. But I can see that they're trying to do something. The cushion compact, the marbled, colorful powder. I can see that they are trying to do something. It's just, this is not the holiday makeup that I personally am looking for. This though, look at this eyeshadow palette. So this is the Smoulder palette from Cosmic Brushes. I think an indie brand. I'm not familiar, but I saw this when I was looking on Trendmood to find out what had been newly released. This is how you put together an eyeshadow palette. Like that is so beautiful. Not even necessarily holiday. It's just, again, the photography, the balance of colors with mattes and duochromes, the texture, the fact that there are some reds and pinks in there, but there are also some blues and grays, but somehow it still feels incredibly cohesive. It's just calibrated. It's perfectly calibrated. oriented and has a vision, has a point of view, and it's not afraid to be really rich and deep and go there. It's not afraid to go there. So I saw this and I got the feelings that I used to feel when new makeup would release, you know, and I felt like I liked the Givenchy palette. I felt like I liked the ABH palette. I felt like I did not like what I saw from Nars Jail for 1,000 years. It wasn't until I saw this when I was scrolling that I was like, oh, art supplies, you know, that feeling of art supplies. So I just wanted to put that up here kind of as like a context for all of the rest. Oh, so another eyeshadow palette. It's funny. I think there's something about having taken a break from keeping up with new makeup releases and then coming back into it. I'm somehow a bit of an easier sell. Specifically for eyeshadow, it's like I had forgotten, I had become numb to it all. And then I took a break and that numbness wore off. And now I'm seeing these glimmery images of eyeshadows and swatches. And I'm like, wow, that's so exciting. Like that's the best thing I can imagine. But the reason that I'm putting this picture, this is the new Makeup by Mario palette. I have never tried anything from Makeup by Mario. I haven't tested that brand. This isn't necessarily making me want to. It is beautiful. But the thing that I really respond to in this image is the picture of the eye that is having makeup applied to it. I see that and I'm like, I want to put on eye makeup. But I experienced this totally dissociated from the Makeup by Mario palette that was used to create this eye look. I looked at this and I was like, oh, pretty interesting palette. I know a lot of people love Makeup by Mario. I don't need more eyeshadow. And then I saw that eye look and I was like, that is so beautiful. But those two feelings, the things are like separated, fully separated in my mind. I saw this and I was like, I would like to create an eye look like that. But there's no part of me that's being in that moment tricked into thinking that I need this palette in order to create that eye look. Just need some eyeshadow, some sparkly eyeshadow, and you can do it. So I thought that that was worth mentioning. But we have to talk about Pat McGrath just because of our collective historical relationship with Pat McGrath eyeshadow around the holidays, which has historically been just freaking out. And I have myself been known to make purchases from Pat McGrath holiday collection. That one Quint, that one 5-pan palette one year. I've never bought like one of the big ones. This is looking it's so funny. It's like I have a Pavlovian response. There's part of me that sees this, especially the third slide with the crushy gold on the finger and you can see the palette in the background. And there's nothing except for that bronze and maybe that champagne sparkle that I really want here. But the entire package together is just awakening those past passions, you know? However, I would now like to defer to Tom's new makeup hot takes because, it's not new makeup hot takes. They call it critical sass. So the Halloween critical sass, it might not have been this Pat McGrath palette, but it might have been, actually. It might have been. I'm going to link Haute Mess Tom's stunning production of Halloween critical sass in which a Pat McGrath palette, maybe this one, was like animated, came to life and spoke to them in the video, had a conversation. Everything that needs to be said has been said by Tom. So that, watching it and loving it kind of preemptively took the wind out of the sails of my reawakened past passions. When I saw this, I was like, whoa, those old Pat McGrath feelings are coming rushing back. And then I remembered critical sass and I was like, but no, they're not. It's fine. Okay, again, brief mention. I felt compelled to mention the things that I've tried, the few things that came up on this list. The Wicked, For Good, and r.e.m. Beauty collab. I had not tried anything from r.e.m. Beauty, which is Ariana Grande's makeup line. They sent me this palette, the green one. I don't have it here because I didn't plan well. I like it. I think I tried it. I think I used it on camera, actually. I like it. I like the really dark green. I like having a deep matte in a palette that's not black or brown, I guess, right now. I sometimes use that really dark green in my outer corner. I've had this palette around and it's appealed to me. I wouldn't go out and buy it because it's not my perfect palette. The sparkle's a little bit too blue for me. It's too big for me. Like, I don't need that many eyeshadows right now to do eyeshadow. I'm not necessarily saying like you should get it. I'm not at all saying that. I don't know. I was scrolling through new makeup releases. I saw something that I knew something about, that I had firsthand knowledge. And I was like, better tell the people. It's appealing, right? It's appealing. It's sweet. It's pretty well balanced. The matte formula is velvety and works really well. I like that super dark green. It's cute. Hermès. Look at this picture. I have only one thing to say. It is a hot and singular take, which is that this appeals to me because it looks vintage. It looks like it's from a vintage magazine. It looks very editorial. It's high concept. It looks like an image that they are hoping will go down in the annals of beauty history. I like that stuff. So I see this and I'm like, oh, this is a cut above. But what I mean is that in terms of beauty imagery, it's a cut above. I like the picture. I like looking at it. And that is not a reason to buy it. That's not a reason to buy it. The palette, I mean, definitely for me, the colors are not it. You know what I mean? Like the purples and blues of this release from Hermès. I mean, it's very easy for me to just move past that. But I felt like it was worth once again making a distinction between responding to imagery and appreciating the way in which something has been marketed and feeling like you need to own a piece of that yourself. Spend your money, get an item, and then have the item. It's like, is it going to go down in the annals of your makeup collection, or is it enough for it to just attempt to go down in the annals of makeup imagery? In this case, for me, for sure, the second thing. Okay, another thing that I put in because I have experience with it, but now it feels boring and don't want to talk about it. I'm going to rush through it. The Glow Recipe makeup. They sent some of these to me, and my experience with them is that the lip balm, the glass balm, is very, very heavily scented. I really love this brown one, the one in the bottom left-hand corner in this image. I saw it and I was like, wow, it's a cool toned brown. It looks exactly like Rhode Espresso, which is a beautiful liquid balm. Very cool toned, almost green brown. This looks just like that. And then I opened the lid and it's an overpowering coconut scent. And I just could not get behind it. And I ended up giving them all away. I really like Glow Recipe skincare though, much more than I thought that I would. We've moved into cheeks. And so I'm obligated to say that within this window between when I last talked about new makeup hot takes and when I am now talking about new makeup hot takes, within this window, I myself have released a collaboration of makeup colors that I created with Kiki at Salt New York, formulas that I collaborated with her on tinkering with. I have a whole launch video about it. Bringing it up for two reasons. One, this is my moment, right? I had him filming new makeup hot takes, and some of the new makeup is like my makeup that I conceived of and named and worked on with this brand, and it's super exciting. It's not on Trend Mood. Didn't make it to Trend Mood, but it's making it here to new makeup hot takes. So there it is, the Louise Poston collection with Salt New York. I honestly love it more with every day that passes. I'm wearing the highlight today, and I am also wearing a very, very blotted application of corduroy on my lips. It's one of the shades. I'm wearing Nimue on my cheeks without any color. Corduroy is this one from the Deep Quad. So, thank you all so much for the support with the launch. The quads are coming back in stock. I don't know if this part, right? You can still buy the products themselves, but the quads sold out for a little while and they'll be back in stock any day now. If they are already, we'll put information in the description box of this video. However, the other reason I'm bringing it up is that, as you do know, if you saw my launch video, if you've seen the collection, it's lip and cheek products at every depth, right? So some of them are very light and designed for the very pale. Some of them are very dark and designed for people with deep skin. But across that entire spectrum, they're desaturated. So not just brown, but the saturation level of the color pigments is down so that they feel very natural to the skin. They have that sort of gritty, sexy quality, and they give a makeup look that quality instead of bringing like bright, false color to the cheeks and lips. Never have I been so aware, and that's saying something, of how normal that second thing is, like how standard it is for cheek products to just be like extremely bright, super saturated colors. Never have I been so aware of that as I am today, looking through new makeup releases, having designed and launched my own colors, because it's just shocking how hard it is to find a single blush on the Trend Mood page that has anything remotely in common with any of the colors that I created with Salt New York. That general net is now cast over all of the blush launches I'm about to discuss. Just know that, right? Because that's the lens through which I'm looking. This launch from Ciele, I like Ciele a lot. I like their formulas. I think they're doing a really good job. I saw this picture and I was like, whoa, look at that blush in the middle. It looks like an incredibly pale shade, like maybe a little saturated peach, but still incredibly pale. But then I scrolled through and saw the swatches on people's arms, and that shade, which is called Cozy, is like peach, 1,000 times peach. You know, that is like the trick that's always being pulled on me, especially with K-beauty brands. I'll see a putty blush that looks incredibly neutral and pale and nude and desaturated and so promising. I'll get it, I'll put it on my cheeks, and it'll be like peach paste, exactly the way that this looks. Now, of course, the models look beautiful. The swatches look fun. The formula is really interesting looking. Like I'm sure there's plenty to recommend this, but it's hard for me not to react in that one way. Just be like, where are the desaturated colors? I think I'm a little bit shorter on patience now because I'm like, well, we did it. Like Kiki and I did it. We sat in that room and we mixed colors until we had done it. So why can't you do it? Other brands. Like that's kind of how I feel. Glossier. First of all, I have no interest in the putty version of Cloud Paint. The main thing to recommend Cloud Paint was its formula. That sort of nap flush that it leaves on the cheeks. The fact that it looks dewy, even though it sets down completely. It's so skincare. Like one of the things that Cloud Cloud Paint doesn't have to recommend it to me is the color range. You know, I mean, some of the colors are okay, but it's funny. Glossier Dusk used to be the closest I could get to anything desaturated, and I held on to my tube of Glossier Dusk like it was one of my most prized possessions, and I like clung to it and I swatched other things against it and compared to it. And now I look at Dusk and it is again peach. It's like that peach paste. I just know so much better now about what the issues are with the way that color appears on my skin and on so many people's skin, right? So many people have desaturated skin or skin on which any blush color in the Glossier range is just going to show up looking so makeup-y, not gritty and grungy and sexy, you know? So I see this aesthetically, it's fine. Like the Glossier launches are interesting. I'm sure it's a good launch for some people, but all of the colors just look so colorful to me. They all look so colorful. And that putty formula does not appeal to me. I haven't reviewed this, seen it in person, or seen anyone review it. So maybe it's extraordinary. But if that turns out to be true, that will surprise me. And then I'll eat my words and come back and tell you about it. Right now, all I have to say is that will surprise me. Lips. This is the thing. Remember I was saying my makeup riding horse, I don't know her. My makeup buying horse, I don't ride her. So I did briefly ride her though, because when I was collecting images for this video and figuring out what I wanted to talk about, I pulled this up, Fenty Gloss Balm in a new shade called Rose Amber, which apparently used to be just a stick, wasn't in the Gloss Balm formula, which is, you know, an oldie but a goodie, that formula. This color is my color for a gloss balm, like a liquidy, candy, super shiny gloss with a big doe foot, you know, Fenty Gloss Balm. If I'm going to have something like that, it's going to be in this color. It's like it says there's a sparkling cool taupe brown. That's exactly it. I love everything about that. The fact that it's sparkling, the fact that it's cool toned, the fact that it's taupe, and the fact that it's brown, the fact that it's kind of giving multi-chrome, but make it all one color, which is like what I was trying to do when I designed these highlight shades. It's like multi-chrome flip, but it flips from taupe to taupe to taupe, kind of like that is how this looks. It has all of the excitement of a duochrome or a multi-chrome, but it is just a sparkling cool taupe brown. When I tell you that I immediately went to my Sephora cart and put this in it. And then I didn't buy it because that's what I do. If I get that feeling about something where I'm like, I've got to have it, I need that, it's perfect for me, I just step back and cool off before I act on that. I'm doing that for years and it has saved me so much money and it has saved me from buying so many things that I didn't ultimately want as much as I thought that I did. But with this, that's as far as I've gotten. I haven't then decided not to ever buy it. I still want it. I still think it's the prettiest gloss balm that Fenty Beauty has ever released. I love to see it. Rose Amber LFG. Okay, I'm bringing this up to once again talk about, well, there are a couple things. So this is to give my hot take, obviously. This is the Refi liquid lipstick. I really like Refi as a brand and I tend to like their colors and I like the aesthetic and I tend to like their formulas. You know, I go into this, like, look, when you scroll through and you look at the swatch page, they do all look pretty brown, right? They look pretty brown, pretty desaturated, mocha, morello. They look like they are going to be giving the people what they want, you know? But then when you keep going and you scroll and you see the pictures of the products on people's lips and the close-ups of the swatches of the formulas, they actually close up, they all look really like they have a lot of red in them, a lot of pink in them, a lot of orange and peach in them, you know? And so it's once again this thing of like a trick of the eye where when you zoom out and you just glance at the launch, you're like, oh my gosh, it's a bunch of nudes. It's a bunch of brownie nudes. And then I just know from experience and also from my now increased experience of having actually formulated colors like this and having seen how far you have to push the envelope away from orange and peach and red, leaving out things like red oxide, which can make something look so much redder than it even looks like in the pan or in the bullet, in order to get truly cool toned, truly desaturated browns. I can just see as I scroll through and zoom in that they didn't do that. And that if I got really excited and bought one of these, I just feel like I would probably be disappointed by the color. Maybe not mocha. There's one that called mocha that looks like it has a bit of purple in it that might really keep it cool toned. But even that one, the close-up swatch, it looks really quite pinky red. Just interesting, right? My perspective has changed a lot since working on my own colors. Okay, lastly, a few complexion products to discuss and some perfumes for some reason, which I'm just going to zoom through. The entire takeaway there is just like, I am into perfume right now. Like I saw all these perfumes. I was like, wow, the perfume market is really nailing. And then I was like, Hannah, just go put on one of the perfumes you already have. But I'm going to talk about them anyway. Okay, MAC Lip Erase. The post says, look who's back, which makes me think that MAC has been erasing lips since 1996. What is lip erase? It both strikes my funny bone and makes me want to roll my eyes and allures me because I kind of want to erase my lips just because they're telling me that they made a product for it. Now that I know that it's a thing, I'm like, I want to do it. But the question on everybody's lips is, can you not just use concealer? I mean, presumably this product, it has a lightweight balmy texture. So that's why you would want to use it instead of concealer, because it says it has a lightweight balmy texture and performs like concealer on your lips. So it's basically just concealer with a lightweight balmy texture. But a lot of concealers have a lightweight balmy texture, like for example, the Salt New York Sneaky Balm. And you could also just mix a little concealer in with a lip balm. It confuses and stimulates me. I want to erase my lips, but I think I can. I think I already can. I don't think I need to buy this. Okay, that's it. That was the only complexion product. Let's go through these delicious looking perfumes. Byredo Bois Obscure. Why do I want this so much? It says eucalyptus, papyrus, saffron, jasmine, tuberose. None of those would smell good on me. And then it's got some oud, patchouli, sandalwood, mineral amber. Those would smell good on me. But I think I can see just from the notes that it wouldn't actually be a good perfume for me. And yet I see it and I want it. I see it, I want it. Once again, this is what it looks like to disentangle the tentacles of marketing and of identity, like one's concept of oneself, the passion to optimize and idealize one's presence, one's identity, to disentangle the tentacles of all of that from the reality of a product, by which I mean I'm experiencing both. I'm not banishing the first thing, I'm just disentangling them. Both things are true. It is true that I feel all that some type of way and that is triggering all of those feelings, and it is also true that I probably wouldn't like it. And yet the other stuff is also all still true. Aren't you glad you stuck around for the perfumes? Okay, this is interesting. This is a true hot take. The Glossier Holiday Fragrance Collection, candles, hand creams, lip balm. The collage for this, the photography, the imagery to me looks so much like what would have happened if Glossier got bought out by a larger company, which I think is what happened. And now they're at Sephora. Like, it's just, back in the day, this was never what it would have looked like, I feel. This would have not gotten past the marketing team of Glossier back in the day. This just looks like, this collage, the contrast, it looks computer generated, honestly. Maybe it is. I just feel like the old Glossier would never have done this. That's my hot take. This Prada scent, why do I want this? A woody and milky fragrance, sandalwood, a chai latte, citrus, cardamom. I think it's the idea of cardamom in a scent that is really getting me going. I see that. I also think it's this brown liquid, not the chai tea, but the brown liquid of the perfume in the bottle, because that was happening in the Byredo one as well. There's something about this like gold, clear, ambery liquid in a glass bottle that's just making me be like, that would probably smell really good on me. Again, makes no sense. Oh, and a new Le Labo fragrance, Violette 30. Once again, floral perfume is not for me. A violet perfume is not for me, but I want to smell it, but I'm definitely not going to buy it. That's the takeaway. I'm interested in Le Labo and I always follow their career with a little bit of interest. And I wanted to note here at the end of this video that I was seduced by a number of perfume promises that probably have nothing to do with the realities of those perfumes. I feel like that truth about marketing is particularly sharpened when it comes to scent. So I'm leaving you with that. Thank you for being here for this holiday 2025 episode of New Makeup Hot Takes. I am reminded of how much I enjoy doing this, and I am resolved to film New Makeup Hot Takes more in the new year. I know a lot of the fashion girlies don't watch it, and so it starts to feel less like an urgent part of the channel, but I like it. And I know if you're still here, you probably like it too. So thank you for that. I really appreciate you. And don't forget to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.